Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Going the Distance. This is episode 16. Can you believe it? We've done 16 episodes. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I want to welcome the new members who are just joining us for the first time, and I want to welcome the older members who have been with us since the beginning. I'd really appreciate it before we get started if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode, and comment on the video. If you like what you hear, let me know what you think. And if there's any stories you want me to cover, just let me know, and I will jump right in with it. So let's go the distance, y'all. We got a lot to cover today. We got some NFL news. We've got NBA playoffs. We've got hockey playoffs. I've got some golf updates. I've got some NASCAR news, so let's jump into it. So first off, everybody knows that Bill Belichick is no longer the head coach of the Patriots. And I thought he was one of the ones to come right out and get a new job, whether it's a front office job or a head coaching job. One of the jobs he was scheduled to look at were the Falcons. Well, I heard that Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, warned the Falcons about hiring Bill Belichick. Now that's something, because I thought Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick were tighter than this, but since Tom Brady left the Patriots, I've heard rumors that it was Bill's decision for Tom to leave. And it's come out that Robert Kraft has said that he regrets the fact that he listened to Bill and let Tom go. In my opinion, Tom should have spent his whole career with the Patriots because, he did great. 6 Super Bowls with them. Granted, he went out and won a 7th with Tampa Bay, but, so that was really shocking to me that Robert Kraft warned against hiring Bill Belichick. Now, staying on that Bill Belichick train, it came out that it was reported that Bill Belichick is interested in the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles head coaching jobs if they come available. Now, I heard it was reported yesterday that Mike McCarthy is in the last year of his contract with the Cowboys as the head coach, and he has hired a new manager to represent him in these negotiations. So, as far as I see it, Mike McCarthy needs to stay with the Cowboys. I know, never thought I'd hear myself say that because I've never been a huge Mike McCarthy fan. I'm sorry for the glare in my glasses, y'all. But he's done great things for the Cowboys. So, honestly, I think Bill needs to, just go ahead and retire and go to ESPN or do what he's going to do tomorrow night for the draft and do something with the Pat McAfee show for their draft coverage. Be an analyst with the draft coverage. Now, I kind of have a back and forth with Pat McAfee, too. Sometimes I like what he has to say, and sometimes I'm like, this guy's kind of a clown sometimes. But, that's like with everybody. You have a look, you like him, you don't. I like him most days. So he just says a few things from time to time that are a little questionable in my opinion. Staying on that Falcons front, we got a few stories for the Falcons. So during free agency, when Kirk Cousins signed with the Falcons, the NFL launched an investigation saying there was tampering against, Minnesota, against the Falcons, saying that they were not supposed to go out right away and talk to Kirk Cousins about contract negotiations. Well, It's reported that the investigation should conclude this week, and some of the penalties, I haven't heard anything yet about it, but some of the penalties I've heard are more than likely going to be loss of draft picks. So that might be a story for next week, concluded for next week, seeing if the Falcons lost draft picks because the draft starts tomorrow. Which draft starts tomorrow. So who do y'all think is going to be the top draft picks? I still think Caleb Williams is going to be a draft. It's going to go number 1 overall to the Bears. Honestly, I believe that's going to be the case. Going back to the Falcons, Matt Ryan retired after 15 years in the NFL. He played for the Atlanta Falcons and the Indianapolis Colts. He was Super Bowl MVP. Not Super Bowl MVP. He was league MVP, I'm sorry. And made it to the Super Bowl, where everybody knows he had that collapse against the Patriots, where the Patriots won, I believe it was their 5th Super Bowl. And that was his best year. And then he played a few more years. The Falcons released him. He went and played for Indianapolis for a year, ran his contract out there, and then he was commentating for CBS. But he said that he wasn't going to retire because he wanted to leave his options open. Well, he retired this week after 15 years, and he retired a Falcon, which I think is only right because most of his career was spent as an Atlanta Falcon, and he's one of the most winning Atlanta Falcons quarterbacks of all time. So, congratulations on a good career, Matt. Can't wait to hear what you have to do in the future. I believe you're going to still be with CBS commentating. So, can't wait to hear you commentate, buddy. I've been a fan since the beginning, and I've pulled for you since the beginning. So, on another front, and this kind of has 2 stories with it, Zach Wilson was traded from the New York Jets to the Denver Broncos for late round draft picks. He was looking to be drafted. He was looking to be traded. The Jets were looking to trade him. Well, they did. And Denver needed a quarterback. So does Zach Wilson do better in Denver, or should he have gone somewhere else? Right now, I think Denver's just a stepping stone for it. Now, I said this was a 2-part story. So, as I reported in another video, Trevor Lawrence is the only quarterback out of that draft class that stayed with his original team. And the only quarterback to stay with his original team. And that is shocking because there were a lot of good quarterbacks, in my opinion, that I thought came out of that league. Well, the top ones that everybody knows, the Zach Wilsons, the Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and Kyle Trask was another one. So that was the 2001 draft. So now, as an update to this, Trevor still, he was the number 1 overall pick. He stayed in Jacksonville. Zach Wilson went number 2. He was with the Jets. Now he's with the Broncos. Trey Lance, who was 3rd overall, was in San Francisco, got drafted by San Francisco. He's now backing up Dak Prescott in Dallas. Justin Fields, who went in the 1st round, he was drafted by Chicago. He's now backing up Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. Mac Jones, who was drafted in the 1st round, 15th overall, to the Patriots, is now with backing up Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. And Kyle Trask, just 23 career passing yards. He's just going to be a career backup. Now, I mentioned Justin Fields backing up Russell Wilson. Well, it could be that Justin Fields is a free agent because it was reported that Pittsburgh, everybody knows how I feel about Pittsburgh. No, I can't stand them. And these are some of the reasons. This is the reason why. They're not going to pick up Justin Fields' fifth-year option in his rookie quarterback. I can't believe it's been 5 years since he's been in the league. But it is. And they're not going to pick it up. So will he stay the backup? Will he go, will he be a free agent? I don't know. But I just thought that was a very interesting pick. Very interesting story. So again, the NFL draft is tomorrow. Chicago actually has the number one pick because of the trade they did with Carolina last year to get for their number one pick for Carolina to get Bryce Young. So again, I know I've already said it in this video, but I honestly believe that Caleb Williams is going to go number one, and I honestly believe that he is the right choice for Chicago. I think Chicago can mold him, and I believe that it's going to be a good fit. So we'll see how that goes. I also saw where the Patriots are open to trading the third overall pick, and we'll see how that goes. I've heard that the Giants want to get Drake May out of USC for their quarterback. Well, I honestly think the Giants have their quarterback in Daniel Jones, who has been pretty decent for them. So I'd say stick with Daniel Jones and let Drake May go somewhere else like the Patriots or the Minnesota Vikings, or heck, even go second overall to the Washington Redskins. And just go from there. Honestly, the Patriots, I've said this from the beginning, ought to just draft J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. I think that'd be a good fit. I think Gerard Mayo would just do perfect with J.J. McCarthy. But the draft starts tomorrow and goes Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So next week, I will have an update on who the top picks were, where the top quarterbacks went. And just tune in next week for that. So on to another story that broke today that I'm really excited about. Reggie Bush, who was just phenomenal in the NFL. Phenomenal college player, phenomenal NFL player. Played for teams like the New Orleans Saints, where everybody recognizes him from. Played for the San Francisco 49ers, and I believe won the Super Bowl with New Orleans. He was under controversy for his Heisman Trophy. Well, it was reported today that Reggie Bush gets to receive his Heisman Trophy again because, yes, Reggie Bush is a Super Bowl champion and he's well deserved. I'm sorry for that side note, y'all. He vacated his Heisman Trophy in 2010 because the NCAA was investigating him for receiving gifts when he was at USC. Well, they ruled, and as everybody knows, winners get looked down on. That's just the way of life. If you're a winner, they come after you. Well, that's what they did with Reggie. And he gave his Heisman Trophy back in 2010. He gave it back to the NCAA, so it was a vacated Heisman Trophy. Well, today, he gets it back. And he well-deserved gets it back. I've always been a Reggie Bush fan. I've always stuck up for him. I've always thought he was just a phenomenal player. And just well-deserved Heisman Trophy. And I'm glad that he's got it back. So congratulations, Reggie, on this victory. And, you're a commentator on Fox for college football, so I love that. I'm going to watch the pre-games or record the pre-games on Sunday and hear your take on the slate of college games this summer and fall. So that's all for NFL news. So now we're going to move into the UFL. Now, if y'all have been following the UFL, been following the show, I've been giving updates every week. We're in week 4 of the UFL, which I can't believe. I can't believe it's been 4 weeks that we've been watching the United Football League, y'all. Let me know in the comments what y'all think of the league. Let me know who y'all's favorite teams are. Let me know who y'all's favorite players are. And before we get started with the scores, I just want to say that Matt Corral, who's a quarterback in the UFL, who's a former Carolina Panther, has been doing really good. He's with I want to say it's the Battlehawks. Let me do a little. Let me say this for a fact. He plays for the Stallions, the Birmingham Stallions. I'm sorry. He's been doing phenomenal this year, and NFL teams are looking at him to re-sign him. Now, in my opinion, he needs to stay with the UFL because he's already had a stint in the NFL, and I don't know if it was just bad timing, but he wasn't doing great in the NFL. So I'd say stay in the UFL and just grind it out, man. So now we're going to get to some scores. So on Saturday, we had the Brahmas taking on the Panthers. Well, the Brahmas improved to 3-1 in a 19-9 victory over the Panthers. So the Brahmas are now 3-1, and the Panthers are now 2-2. We had the Stallions improved to 4-0, defeating the Defenders 20-18. So the Stallions are undefeated at 4-0, and the Defenders are now 2-2. The Battlehawks improved to 3-1 in a 32-17 victory over the Showboats. The Battlehawks are now 3-1, and the Showboats are now 3-1. So that was on Sunday. So then on Saturday. So now on Sunday, we had the Roughnecks taking on the Renegades. Well, the Roughnecks improved to 1-3, defeating the Renegades 17-9. So the Roughnecks are now 1-3, and the Renegades are now 0-4. The Renegades have really disappointed me because they were great in their other league. And they had all these great games, went to the championship game multiple times. Actually, I believe we're back-to-back champions in the league. And they can't seem to win a game to save their life this year. So I hope they can turn it around, but I think it's, 4 weeks into the season, so I think you pretty much wash them out for the season. But keep an eye on Birmingham because they're undefeated. Keep an eye on the undefeated teams this year. Or the undefeated team this year. Because, it's going to be good. And me personally, I've really enjoyed the UFL this year. And, it's different from the NFL. So I just love that. So now we're going to move into some college football. And this is just a little blip because I know college football isn't going on right now. So back during the college football season last year, Jim Harbaugh, who was coaching Michigan at the time, said, if we win the national championship game, I will get a tattoo. Well, he made true on his promise today, or this week, and he got a tattoo on his arm from the Michigan national championship win. And all it is, it's a little small one. It has an M on it, and it's got 15-0 under it. And I did that because that's where he got it, right there on his arm. It wasn't on his forearm, it was right up here. It's got an M and 15-0 on it. And honestly, it couldn't have happened to a better team this year. Even though I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan, I pull for Michigan because I'm a Brady fan. Always will be, so I always want to see Michigan do good. So now everybody knows that Jim Harbaugh is with the Chargers now, made the leap to the NFL. So I can't wait to see how the Chargers do this year. See if he can continue that. See if he can continue that success from Michigan in college to the Chargers in the NFL. So now we're going to move on to the NBA. And the NBA playoffs started this week. But before I get to scores of the playoffs so far, and they've been some good games. Don't get me wrong. They've been good games. Report came out that Toronto Raptors' Jonte Porter has been banned for life from the NBA for gambling. And this is the first time an NBA player's been banned since Jack Molinas in 1954. So, now I was lucky enough to see Toronto play when they played the Charlotte Bobcats 5-6 years ago. I think it was 6 years ago now. And that was a good game. So I kind of keep tabs on Toronto because, I've seen them live. Just like I follow Charlotte because I like Charlotte. And I follow Golden State. So just follow them. So now we're going to move into some scores for the playoffs. So I know we've had several games, so just bear with me. I'm going to go through them day by day. So on Saturday, we had the Cavaliers and the Magic. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic played. Now, I'm surprised Orlando's in the playoffs because they haven't been in so long. But the Cavaliers defeated the Magic 97-83, and the Cavaliers took a 1-0 lead in that game. I personally think the Cavaliers are going to take the whole series. I don't know how many games. I would say 5 games. So, Cavaliers are 1-0 right now. As of Saturday, the Wolves defeated the Suns 120-95 for the Wolves' 1-0 series lead. Now, the Wolves have already had another game, and I'll get to that later on. The Suns were in the finals several years ago. It's the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Suns. No, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns. So the Suns played the Bucks a few years ago and came up just short. So honestly, I think the Wolves are actually going to take this series and move on to round 2, even though the Suns have a good team this year. The Wolves have a good team, but I think the Wolves are just playing harder and they're just more hungry for it. We had the Knicks and the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers go up against each other, and the Knicks defeated the 76ers 111-104 for the Knicks to take a 1-0 lead in the series. I honestly think the 76ers could come back and win this series. It's just 1-0, so anything can happen. And that's basketball. Anything can happen in this. Okay, so here's a series that I really am gonna enjoy this cycle, and this is a rematch of the series last year. We have the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets taking on the LA Lakers and LeBron James and their big powerhouse team. Well, the Nuggets defeated the Lakers 114 to 103 to take a 1-0 series lead on Saturday. Now we've had another game since then, and I'll get to that one in a minute. Now, I honestly believe that it's going to be a replay of last year, and the Denver Nuggets are going to sweep the LA Lakers, and I hope they do, and I hope LeBron goes home, because they call him, the king of basketball. He's not. He falls behind in every single category, and I saw a picture posted that said he's behind in NBA Finals MVPs. He falls short every single time. They want to compare him to Michael Jordan. He is no Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the best and will always be the best. So stop comparing LeBron James to Michael Jordan. It's not even a contest. Michael Jordan's better. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Sunday's games. And Sunday's games had my Boston Celtics taking on the Heat. And yes, my favorite NBA team are the Boston Celtics. Have been for a while. The Celtics defeated the Heat 114 to 94 to take a 1-0 lead on Sunday. Now, I do believe the Celtics have had another game, and I'll get to that later. But as of Sunday, it was a 1-0 lead. Celtics defeating the Heat 114 to 94. And I've been a fan of the Celtics since they had Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett. Doc Rivers was the coach. That was, they were the team, and it was the Celtics and the Lakers going up against each other. And that was the big rivalry. Well, then the Lakers fell off. And the Celtics have they've had bumps in the road, but they've gotten back to fruition, and they made it to the playoffs last year. They made it to the finals last year. Came up just short to Denver, and that was a good series. So at the end of this, I'm gonna at the end of me telling you the scores, I'm gonna tell you who I think the finals are gonna consist of. And it really shouldn't be a surprise, but we'll go there. So now we're gonna move on to the Clippers and the Mavs. The LA Clippers and the Denver Mavericks. The Clippers defeated the Mavericks 109 to 97 on Sunday for the Clippers to take a 1-0 series lead. Now again, they've had another game, and we'll get to that. Sunday, the Bucks defeated the Pacers 109 to 94 to take a 1-0 lead, and that was all on Sunday. So then on Tuesday, it was the Dallas Mavericks, and the LA Clippers again. Well, Dallas defeated the Clippers 96 to 93 to even the series at one game apiece. Now, this is going to be good because the Clippers have great players. Dallas has great players. I can't call this series because this series could go to 7 games, and this could determine, on the very last game, determine who wins. So that's going to be one to watch. We also had the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Phoenix Suns, and the Wolves defeated the Suns 105-93 for the Wolves to take a 2-0 series lead. Now, as I said a few minutes ago, I believe the Timberwolves are going to take this series. As much as I hate to say it, they just have a good. They just have a better roster, I think, and they're playing better because they're more hungry for it. The Pacers defeated the Indiana Pacers defeated the Bucks 125-108, and that's the Milwaukee Bucks, to even the series at 1 game apiece. Now, I know I didn't bring them up in my other video, or in my other stats, but they're tied at 1 game apiece. So now we're going to move in to the NHL. And now they're doing their playoffs, and everybody knows that I'm a Nashville fan in hockey. I'm a Predators fan. I saw them play live 5 years ago against the Dallas Star, and it was my very first hockey game, and that's when I started really following hockey after I saw it live. Because you watch it live, and it's great. So Saturday we had the Hurricanes taking on the Islanders, Carolina Hurricanes, New York Islanders. The Hurricanes defeated the Islanders 3-1 for the Hurricanes to take a 1-0 series lead on Saturday. Now they played again, and I'll get to that later. The Hurricanes have really been a force to be reckoned with the past few seasons. They've made it to the playoffs, and I think they made it a few years ago. They made it just 1 or 2 games shy of the finals, and they are Stanley Cup final winners years ago. But they're definitely a force. Moving on, the Boston Bruins defeated the Maple Leafs 5-1 for the Bruins to take a 1-0 series lead. Now, the Bruins are a team that I follow, and they've been a great team all season. They've blown people out. They've had like 7-1 scores. And then they've gone to just defeat teams 1-0 or 2-0. But honestly, I see Boston making it far in this series, if not making it to the finals and the Stanley Cup final this year. So on Sunday, we had the Rangers and the Capitals play. Now, the Rangers defeated the Capitals 4-1 to take a 1-0 series lead. Now, it's the New York Rangers. So I want to see the Capitals win that series. So they need to step it up and, win the series. We had the Florida Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning, a battle of Florida, or Florida. So the Panthers defeated the Lightning 3-2 to take a 1-0 series lead. Now, the Lightning have been Stanley Cup champions 2 years back-to-back. They've made it to the playoffs every year since Tom Brady became a Tampa Bay Buccaneer in the NFL, and that's kind of when their luck changed with the Lightning, is when Tom Brady went to Florida. He turned the whole Florida sports team around, the whole Florida sports scheme around. The Lightning did better. The Bucks did better. I want to say the Miami Marlins in baseball did better. So this ought to be a very interesting. Series. That was the word I was looking for. And I'd really love it if the Lightning won this series, but they need to step it up. So, here's an interesting one. we had the Canucks playing the Predators, who are my team. So the Canucks defeated the Predators 4-2 to take a 1-0 series lead on Sunday. But it was tied at 2, and the Canucks scored 2 goals in 12 seconds in the third period to win the game. So that's unheard of. Even though I would love to see the Predators win this series, the Canucks are putting up a hard fight. So good luck to you, Canucks. And then on Tuesday, we had the Rangers and the Capitals playing again, and the Rangers defeated the Capitals 4-3 to take a 2-0 series lead. So, come on, Capitals, you need to step it up. We also had the Panthers and the Lightning play again. The Panthers defeated the Lightning 3-2 to take a 2-0. So the Florida Panthers now have a 2-0 series lead over the Lightning. Come on, Lightning, got to step it up. We had the Avalanche and the Jets play each other. And the Avalanche, who are the defending Stanley Cup champions, defeat the Jets 5-2 to tie the series at 1 game apiece. Now, I'm sorry, just like in the basketball, I'm sorry I didn't get the scores for the first game against that one, but just like I did with Indiana in basketball, but I'm going to do better and get all the scores for y'all going forward. So we also had, yesterday, we had the Predators and the Canucks play again. And the Predators defeated the Canucks. Yes, 4-1 was the score to even the series at 1 game apiece. So, and they were playing in Nashville. So this is, it's great. So that's all for the hockey news. So now we're going to move to Sunday's golf, which ended up concluding on Monday because of inclement weather. So last week we talked about the Masters, and we talked about Scottie Scheffler winning the Masters. Well, they played in Hilton Head, South Carolina this week for the RBC Heritage. Scottie Scheffler won again at 19 under, which is great. This is the reason Scottie Scheffler is number 1 in the nation for golf, or for golfers. They concluded on Monday because it was delayed for inclement weather. So, Scottie, congratulations. Let's keep it up. I believe they said this was his second win in 5 weeks, or 4th win in the past 5 weeks. It was his second win in the past 4 or 5 weeks. And of course we know that because he just won back-to-back, the Masters and the RBC Heritage. So congratulations, Scottie. I'll be keeping an eye on you, and I'll be giving you guys updates on how he's doing. So now I'm going to cover IndyCar, and the next is going to be IndyCar and racing. That's what we're going to move into next. So Scott Dixon won the IndyCar race. Now he's been great in IndyCar. He's chasing history in wins. Well, he won his 57th Indy race this week, and he's inching closer to the all-time wins list. And the all-time winner is A.J. Floyd, who has 67 wins. So he's about 10 wins away from that. So come on, Scott Dixon, you can do this, buddy. I followed IndyCar some when James Hinchcliffe was racing. He was my driver. And then my NASCAR driver, Jimmy Johnson, made the jump from NASCAR to IndyCar. So now Hinchcliffe has retired. Jimmy's back in NASCAR, so I still keep tabs on it, but not like I used to. So now we're going to move into NASCAR. Well, Tyler Reddick won in Talladega, and that was his team. Owners are Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. I want to say it's 23X Racing is the race team, and it was a phenomenal finish. They raced in Talladega, and Talladega didn't disappoint this year, y'all. Tyler Reddick was third, and on that final lap, it was Michael McDowell and it was Brad Keselowski racing for that lead. Well, McDowell was leading coming around, I believe it was turn 2, and Brad Keselowski got a push, drove right up there behind Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell came down to block him and just clipped Keselowski and spun McDowell out. And now McDowell was the pole sitter for Talladega. So he wrecked, which put Tyler Reddick in first. Well, yeah, because it was the final lap. Once they crossed the green-white checkered, even if the caution came out, whoever crossed that green-white checkered, before the caution came out, is the winner. And that's what happened. They wrecked, and then Tyler Reddick crossed the green-white checkered for the final lap, and he was the winner. So the top 5 in that were Tyler Reddick, Brad Keselowski, Noah Gragson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Alex Bowman. Not a big fan of Stenhouse because, he doesn't win. And when he did win, it was given to him. And he was Danica Patrick's boyfriend for a while. So, there's that. And then to round out some of the other drivers, we had Chase Elliott finish 15th, and he ran good. He ran good in the race, and Kyle Larson finished 24th. So both of those guys did good. And, I just look for success for Tyler Reddick and all the drivers. I hope they stay safe. Oh, and on that note, we had I want to send thoughts and prayers out to Eric Jones, who drives for Legacy Racing. He was involved in an accident on Sunday on the racetrack against Bubba Wallace, where Eric Jones slammed head first into the wall. Fender first, honestly, into the wall. So it crushed the whole front of his car, and he was taken to the hospital. He's since been released, but he was taken to the hospital for evaluation, and they found that he had a fractured vertebrae. So my thoughts and my prayers go out to you, Eric. I know you've got a speedy recovery. I know I'm hope for a speedy recovery. And I know that you're out this coming week in Dover. So just get better. And I can't wait to see you come back. I hope you come back better and stronger. And just fight on, buddy. So now we're going to move on to a funny thing in baseball. So New York Yankees manager Aaron Boone got ejected for something a fan did. Now, how does that work, you might ask? You're scratching your head going, this is interesting. How does that work? So the New York Yankees were up to bat. New York Yankees player gets hit with the ball, which the pitcher should have been, looked at for that. So I guess the fan and Aaron Boone were talking at the same time. Well, Aaron Boone, it was said, he said something, and the ump looked right at him and said, "One more word and you're out of here." Well, that's when he just got enraged. and went up, and he was, yeah, whatever. And the ump goes, "You're out of here." Well, you can't do that. But it has since come to light that the umpire said he shouldn't have been ejected for something a fan said, and he should have stayed in the game. So I just thought that was a funny little bit of information. So now we're going to move on to what we're listening to. And this week, what we're listening to, no big surprise, because of tomorrow and the announcement I made last week, is Need to Breathe. I'm going to see Need to Breathe tomorrow night in concert, and they have been a favorite band of mine for a long time. I'm listening to them right now. They're more of a folk rocky band. They sing Christian music. They really unidentify as a genre, but they have Christian aspects. They have rock aspects. They have folk, and they have an indie rock sound to them. They formed in 2001 in, I know I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, and you can correct me on this in the comments, they formed in Seneca, South Carolina in 2001. They've had 9 albums, including the Caves album, which is their most recent one. I first heard their song, the first single I heard from them was a song called Brother that they did with Gavin DeGraw, and I've always been a Gavin fan. In fact, I'll do what we're listening to on Gavin in weeks to come. In 1 week, I'll do what we're listening to with Gavin to give you guys a little background on him. I counted it up. I believe I saw they had 54 singles, which is pretty amazing. And their most recent album is The Caves. And it is a great album. It's great. All their albums are great. I can't think of a single song on any of their albums that I don't like. I love all their stuff. And tomorrow night, I have the privilege of going to see them in concert. Now, I saw them open for One Republic back in 2022. And that's when I became just a huge fan. And for years, my favorite song from them has been Brother. But since then, I've heard a lot of their other songs, like Banks, like State I'm In, West Texas Wind, The Caves, Evermore. Just check them out, y'all. They're one of my favorite bands, and they're good. They're a good relaxing band. They're a good feel-good band. If you're feeling down and you're feeling like, nothing's going right, and you're angry, and you just want to pick me up, throw on Need to Breathe. They're a great band, and I highly recommend them. And I look forward, and I can't wait to go see them tomorrow night because I love them. I mean, they're amazing. And they've got great harmonies. And Bear, the lead singer, Bear, just has a voice about him that just, I don't know. I love his voice. He's got a very distinctive voice, so when he comes on, you know that it's a Need to Breathe Out song. And so just check them out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I know we really did go the distance this week. And in closing, I just want to say that just keep your head up. If you're going through a storm, keep your head up. And just know that the storm will pass. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest warriors. So everybody on here I know are strong warriors, and if you're going through something, pray, because God hears your prayers. And God just works in mysterious ways, not mysterious, in amazing ways. So just keep your head up and just go out this week and make somebody's day. Go out, make them smile, make them laugh, hang out with your buddies. Just enjoy the day. Just take every day in and just enjoy it. Enjoy every day. Live and laugh and just have a great week, everybody. We'll be back next week with some NFL draft news and more sports and music news with some motivation sprinkled in. So have a good week, y'all. I love you all, and God bless y'all. Have a good week.